What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Travel by Turtles. The Christmas season is officially over, with today being Monday, and 2023 is right around the corner. So now everybody is starting to think, what are we going to do in terms of travel for 2023? And a lot of us, with the current economy, are looking for tips on how we can travel on a budget. And that's exactly what I want to talk about in today's video. We'll go through some tips on how you can save money when traveling, some of the things that you can do when booking, and just all around general tips and tricks on how to save your cash. So the first thing when getting a trip together planned is to make sure you're choosing the place you're going to be going and being smart about it, right? Plan in advance for one. But also do a lot of research. Some places are like really big tourist traps. So make sure, like, if you want to see really cool things, you're going to the authentic versions of them. Or if you want to go on a tour, maybe you want something that's a little bit more guided. Just make sure you are not falling into all of like the traps that they have. I know a lot of India and Europe have a lot of these tourist type of traps, so you just have to be careful if you are booking a tour, or if you're doing something self-guided, like on your own. Just be smart about where you're going in general. The next thing is more of just like a tip in general, and it's going to be health related, right? So if you do have any health concerns or issues, medical care can become really expensive. Make sure, if you have any health issues, for one, before you're traveling abroad, check in with your doctor, but also see if there is appropriate health care there in the event that you need something to get done. I've heard a lot of horror stories of people who have a pre-existing issue that they're aware of, and maybe they need something that isn't readily available. Well, you might be able to find it, but you're going to end up having to pay a lot for it. If you are someone who gets bad sore throats often, right? Make sure you're packing like a throat spray or like ibuprofen or whatever it is. If you know that you're going to have it, because if you end up getting it in a different country and you have to get some type of medicine for it, well, it's going to be a little bit more expensive, right? Or you could always get travel insurance as well, and that often covers like any serious illnesses that you might experience. Overall, I think travel insurance, especially in this day and age, is a pretty solid thing to get. Was way more important 2 years ago for obvious reasons, but now it's just, you could get it for pretty cheap, actually. The next thing is going to be traveling off season. So if you are going to like Maui or Cancun or any of these other tropical or island type places, they all have their off season where people aren't really going there all that much. I mean, even Florida has like its quote unquote off season. But you're going to save a lot of money. You're not going to be running into a lot of crowds of people. You are also going to be able to get better deals, not only on your location where you're staying in the hotels, but like overall dining, I think, in like vendors and shopping tends to become a little bit cheaper as well. Also, when you are like booking your trip, I mentioned to make sure you're booking it early on, right? Plan early, book early. Also try and book your transportation and like your vehicles earlier as well. So booking in advance on a car can often save you tons of money too. And if it drops, a lot of these if the price drops, a lot of these companies offer like free cancellations, right? If it's within a certain period, so you can cancel early on and then get the better price, but at least you have something booked in advance. Nothing's worse than having your entire trip planned and then you find out that you don't have a vehicle. That's never good. And if you are looking to book a vehicle, make sure that the places that you're going are is your vehicle the right fit for what you're doing? And let me explain that a little bit better. When we went to Maui, we did the road to Hana, and we booked a Jeep, which was a great decision. There's tons of people with like convertibles and all of this, these cool cars that they rented to go on this hike. Well, when it starts raining, all these people are pulling to the side while I'm in my Jeep and able to really enjoy everything. So be smart about what you're doing. Make sure you're planning your itinerary out well. The other thing is that there's so many apps out there now that you can use to find cheap flights. So make sure when you're booking, you're smart about where you're booking. Some of the like Expedia's, Cheap Caribbean, if you're doing like all-inclusives, applications, those are great ways to save. But there's a lot of like cheapo flights, I think is one of them, where you can save a lot of money. Skip lag is another one. If you're just going to one destination, you're not taking a checked bag. Actually, I don't think airlines like skip lag, so I think with that one, make sure you're not putting your travel ID, your known traveler information in there, because they'll like red flag you. But just be smart about what you're doing. Look up different deals, especially this time of year. Christmas is over now, but you could usually find great deals for like the winter time to fly out places. And if you are flying out and you've got the availability to fly like on a Wednesday, you can usually save a little bit more money by doing it that way. A lot of the Saturday to Saturday flights tend to cost more just because it's what's convenient for everybody. So supply and demand, obviously, if a lot of people want it, the price is going to go up. Not many people fly out middle of the week. So if you've got the ability, if you can take your PTO for that, that's something else that I recommend. And when you are booking the flight, see if you can pack for just carry-on, right? You can save tons of money with a lot of these budget airlines by just taking your small bag. Now, if you do need a carry-on, make sure you're packing smart. Let's say you're going for an extended period of time, make sure you're packing the things that you need. And a lot of the times, if you're thinking about it, you go to a beach, you're not wearing half the clothes you're packing. A lot of the times you can take your check bag and really just, if you think about the clothes that you actually wore on the trip, you probably could have just fit it all into the carry-on. So think about it, like really be thoughtful, maybe even write out your outfits and think like, am I actually going to wear this, or like, am I just packing it because I think I'm going to? I'm probably just going to re-wear the shirt from the day before. That's just another way to save some money. Another way that my wife and I actually saved a lot of money when we've gone on trips when we were in college was by sharing like our food, right? So if we did go to a restaurant or something, we would like share our meals, which we could go to a lot of different places and try a lot of cool stuff, and even get like really great dishes, but we split it. So one thing is that you feel light and you're like good to go, and you're never like ever groggy, like super filled up, but it's also a great way to save tons of money. I know another way, like let's say I obviously went with my fiance, my wife, my girlfriend, whatever, those times work, but like let's say you're going with a friend, instead of getting your own separate rooms, just share one room, right? You can get 2 queen beds, or you can maybe you have a friend that lives somewhere. You can bum a couch off of them, right? Just stay on their couch. And that's another great way to save a lot of cash. If you are traveling with a friend, just make sure, I think I post another video of just making sure that you're aligned with them. That's always a great way to like keep it drama free. That way you're not wasting each other's time. Make sure that you're aware of what each of your plans are for the trip, and like your expectations are set early on. Another great way to save money is do your research, right? So like this video is a great way to get some information, but also read on other forums what other people have done. If there's other travel blogs out there, check out what people are recommending. Read reviews, like actual reviews of the places that you want to go. Something might look really fancy and look really cool, but if the reviews say that it's horrible and you're gonna have a horrible experience, chances are you might too. Or maybe you like really want to go and check it out for yourself, but at least you're aware of what might happen. And again, there's a happy balance between saving money and like having really great experiences. So you might save money for something, but splurge a little bit on something else, and that's totally okay. Another thing is like find things that you can do for free in the area, right? Like I mentioned, this huge hike that we went on in Maui. For the most part, aside from like the state parks, that was a very free experience, but like a very life-changing experience as well. So you could have a lot of fun doing free things, like even snorkeling, right? That's a free activity, but you can have a great time if you do your research, find places that are maybe hidden that people don't really go to, and that's always a cool story at the very least. You can also save money by getting a local SIM card. So if you're traveling abroad and maybe you don't have the phone coverage plan that allows you to use your US phone plan, just pick up a SIM card. You can find them for pretty cheap at like even gas stations at a lot of these places sell SIM cards. And you won't have to worry about your extra fees that your carrier might charge. I talked about excursions earlier, but if you're doing like the cheaper route, you could do a lot of them on your own. Use the Maui example again. There's so many stops on the sides of the roads that you could just pull over and like go explore. Some places obviously have signs like keep out, don't go here, it's dangerous, but a lot of people there really enjoy the land. So when you're on the trip, if you see something that's really cool, or you want to take a picture, or you want to experience something, take the time to do it, right? At the end of the day, an excursion is really just meant for you to explore and have fun and learn about the land. So if you could find that in your own way, then take advantage of it. Cooking at home is another way you can save a lot of money. Even going to the grocery stores, like if you are on an island on Maui, you can go to grocery stores and get a ton of fresh food, a lot of seafood. If you are in Europe or even in India, right, there's groceries everywhere. It's really easy to go out and splurge on restaurants, and it's nice. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, but by cooking at home, you can save a lot of money. Also, make sure you're packing enough cash for a lot of these trips as well, right? Like you're going to be spending money. You can go to your local bank before your trip and exchange your own currency for the country's currency that you're going to. Exchange rates are really high at airports and even like maybe ATMs in whatever country you're at. The fees might be higher because it is out of country. If you plan in advance, you can just go to your bank. You're still going to pay a little bit of an exchange rate, but it's going to be much lower than whatever location you're at. And then depending on which country you're going to, let's say you are shopping in a country that is negotiation friendly, a lot of the times countries are going to charge a crazy rate, right? Like I know when I've gone to the Dominican Republic, for example, if there are vendors who are selling something for a higher price, I personally have negotiated on tons of little like knickknacks and like things that I wanted to take home because I know that they're just really price hiking it. Obviously, like understand where they're coming from as well, but if you can agree on a price that is fair, you can usually get a good deal, and it works out for them too, right? Because I was able to get a better deal. I'm telling other people about the place just because I like them. I'm not necessarily telling them to negotiate themselves. That's on them. But you're also helping somebody feed their family, right? As opposed to not purchasing something, by still getting the sale, you still contributed to their overall life as well. And if you do make friends with them, get some recommendations on what their favorite places are. Getting recommendations from locals has returned 10 times over. Just having the conversation and learning about the things that they like to do, the things that people around them like to do in the area is always a great way to kind of learn and like explore outside of your box as well. And honestly, if you can stick to all of these tips and tricks, and you pick a budget and you travel early and you pack early and you decide on everything you want to do and you just stick to that budget, you can save a ton of money. A lot of the times people go outside of what they planned for their budget, and like that's where things get expensive. So if you are that type of person, set a threshold of how much you're willing to go over. But that's all that I have for this video. If you get any questions, feel free to leave a comment. And as always, like and subscribe. And thank you for watching another Travel by Turtles video. Thank you.